Hi everyone, I'm Ellen and I'm a scientist at Science from Scientists. Welcome to Experiment Monday. The last experiment I shared with you was about how fast my pet hedgehog could run. This time I have a very different but equally adorable lab partner, my Egyptian Uromastyx, Artemis. As you can tell, there are many differences between a Uromastyx and a hedgehog. Hedgehogs are nocturnal, meaning that they're active at night and sleep during the day. But Artemis is diurnal, meaning he is active during the day and sleeps at night. One reason for this is that he is exothermic, or cold-blooded. He doesn't generate his own heat, he absorbs it from the sun, which is why he lives next to this window and has some heat lamps. What I want to find out today is how much his temperature fluctuates during the day and how that impacts his activity levels. To get the best data, I'm going to take his temperature every hour he is awake for 3 days, and then we'll see if any patterns emerge. To collect his temperature, I have this thermometer that I can use to sense the temperature anywhere in his tank. To help him regulate his temperature, his tank is set up with a temperature spectrum. His heat lamps are on this side of the tank, if he wants to warm up, and this side of the tank has no heat lamps, if he wants to cool off. For consistency, I'm going to take his temperature on the middle of his back each time. You may notice that Artemis has a very wide back, and that's not just because he's body positive. It also helps him absorb the heat energy from the sun. By having a very wide, flat surface, he can catch more of the sun's rays than he could if he had a narrower body. Let's see how much his temperature changes over the course of a day. Okay, so it looks like my results showed slightly different numbers each day, but the overall pattern is the same. Artemis begins his day at a cooler temperature after sleeping on the cool side of his tank at night, warms up throughout the day, and peaks in the early afternoon when the sun is hottest before cooling gradually throughout the late afternoon and early evening. Whenever there were big changes between hours, it was usually because he moved from one side of his tank to the other or vented some heat by opening his mouth, which releases heat. It should also be noted that our TV is near the cool side of the tank, so he spends more time there if his favorite show is on, no matter what time of day it is. Star Trek. It's Star Trek. Thanks for joining me with my little at-home experiment. If you have a lizard or other exothermic pet at home, let me know if your pet's temperature and activity levels match what I found with Artemis. Things like tank setup and time of year will definitely make a difference for exothermic animals. Join us next week for another experiment.